Chrisley knows best. Alum Savannah Chrisley might, in a few candid words, have explained why she won't allow her half-brother, Kyle Chrisley, to meet with Khloe, 11. Additionally, the reality TV star got snarky with critics of her mom and dad, Todd and Julie Chrisley, after their oral appeal. Savannah Chrisley talked about Kyle, Khloe and critics. Khloe is the biological daughter of Kyle Chrisley and Angela Johnson. At one stage, she wanted to get custody of her daughter, but as Todd and Julie Chrisley adopted Khloe, she couldn't do anything about not co-parenting. These days, with Todd and Julie in prison for fraud and tax-related crimes, Savannah is Khloe's legal guardian. Savannah Chrisley took to her vlog to talk about an update on her mom, Julie, after the Court of Appeal heard oral arguments. Julie's case was remanded back to the district court because of a lack of evidence of fraud relating to certain years. So, she will be resentenced, and her family hopes that she can go home soon. Critics dissed by Todd's daughter. In her recent update on her Unlocked podcast, Todd Chrisley's daughter spoke a lot about Khloe. It related to how she didn't know what she should tell her little sister about her mom and dad. However, she admitted that the child's innocence was blown years ago, and she specifically called Kyle and Angela Johnson pieces of garbage when it came to parenting. That came at the 350 mark in the video below. Next, as an OP on Reddit pointed out, Savannah Chrisley got snarky with critics of her mom and dad. The Chrisley Knows Best critic wrote, "Savannah, sick, called everyone who calls them out for doing illegal things, Karens. So the judge is a Karen too to her? So delusional and playing the victim," she says it around the 6 o'clock min mark in her new YouTube update. The part where the OP talked about people calling them out for doing illegal things came when Savannah Chrisley talked about how the system has absolutely they just don't care about families. Then, she spoke about people who talked about how parents shouldn't go to prison in the first place. Irritated, she held up her hands, nodded, and said, "Well, Karens, just back off." Chrisley Knows Best critics react on Reddit. Reddit isn't as friendly a place as Instagram because it's not so easy for people to moderate what is shown. So, many people agreed that Kyle's half-sister shouldn't have called everyone Karens. Here are some reactions. "I think the Karens are this family, and anyone else, that pretends Todd and Julie did nothing wrong and shouldn't be in jail. Karen, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. This isn't even a situation where they did it out of desperation for their family. It was just good old-fashioned greed. Wouldn't you just love to see a profiler's report of her personality? Karen is blaming the Karens. And these people portrayed themselves as humble and responsible. What a freaking shame." What are your thoughts on Savannah Chrisley calling Kyle and Khloe's biological mom pieces of garbage? What about dissing critics who feel people shouldn't complain if they commit a crime? Are they all Karens? Sound off in the comment below, and come back here often for all your Chrisley Knows Best news. Savannah Chrisley had never been one to shy away from a challenge, and this time was no different. As she sat in the lavish living room of her Nashville home, scrolling through her phone, she felt a mix of frustration and determination. The latest updates on her family's appeal case were making headlines, and the critics were having a field day. But Savannah was ready to fight back. She set her phone aside and glanced at the stack of documents on the coffee table. The appeal was a complicated process, filled with legal jargon and countless hurdles. Her brother, Kyle, had been less than helpful throughout the ordeal, and Savannah couldn't help but feel a pang of resentment. He had always been the black sheep of the family, but now his actions were affecting everyone. With a sigh, Savannah picked up her phone again and opened Instagram. She had a large following, and she knew her words would reach thousands, if not millions. It was time to set the record straight. She began typing, her fingers flying across the screen as she crafted her message. "Hey guys, I just wanted to take a moment to address some of the things that have been said about my family and our appeal process. It's been a tough road, and I know there are a lot of opinions out there. But I need to set the record straight about a few things. Savannah paused for a moment, gathering her thoughts before continuing. First of all, I want to say that we are fighting this appeal with everything we've got. It's not easy, and there have been a lot of setbacks, but we are not giving up. My parents are innocent, and we are going to prove it. She hesitated for a second before addressing the next issue. It was a delicate topic, but she knew it had to be said. And I know there have been a lot of questions about Kyle and his involvement. Let me be clear, Kyle has his own issues to deal with, and he's chosen a different path. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. He made his choices, and now he has to live with the consequences. Savannah took a deep breath, feeling a mix of relief and anger. She was tired of the constant scrutiny, the endless gossip, and the harsh judgments. But she wasn't done yet. And to all the critics out there who think they know everything about our lives, let me just say this: you don't. You only see what the media shows you, and that's not the whole story. We are a family, and we are sticking together through this, no matter what. So, if you want to judge us, go ahead. But remember, you don't know the whole story. She hit the post button and sat back, watching as the comments and likes started pouring in. Some were supportive, while others were predictably harsh. But Savannah felt a sense of empowerment. She had spoken her truth, and that was all that mattered. The next few days were a whirlwind. The media picked up on her post, and it was all over the news. Savannah's words were dissected, analyzed, and criticized from every angle. But she stood her ground, refusing to back down. She appeared on several talk shows, confidently defending her family and their fight for justice. In one particularly heated interview, the host tried to corner her with tough questions about Kyle's past and his current situation. Savannah remained composed, her eyes blazing with determination. "Look, I love my brother, but he's made some bad decisions. We all have our own battles to fight, and Kyle's journey is his own. I'm not here to make excuses for him. I'm here to support my parents and fight for what's right." The host seemed taken aback by her honesty, but Savannah didn't waver. She knew that this was bigger than just one interview, bigger than the gossip and the criticism. This was about her family's future, and she wasn't going to let anyone derail their fight for justice. Back at home, Savannah continued to work tirelessly on the appeal. She spent hours with their legal team, going over every detail and preparing for the next steps. It was exhausting, but she refused to give up. She knew her parents were counting on her, and she wasn't going to let them down.